Hello, listeners. Welcome to our new month of Theme on Screen. This month, we're reviewing animated movies about animals, movies about plumbers, movies about animated emotional trauma. I'm your host, Caitlin Pedri.
And I'm your other host, Paul Gursky. That's right, this month we're discussing all things animated. And surprisingly, no Toyota Chevrolet. Let's get started now with Theme on Screen.
Also, just chiming in again to say that nothing we're going to watch is as animated as I was when I saw little Timmy Chalamet's ass get paddled. Meow.
Okay, well, welcome to episode 24, everyone. Today we are joined by special guest Austin Shyu. Welcome, Austin.
Hey, Austin.
Oh, hi. How's it going?
Going all right.
Yeah.
Doing the damn thing.
It's another day, another podcast. Am I right?
You guys seeing this rain?
So now we're just talking about the rain. Is that where we've fallen into our podcasting career?
It's nuts. It's not like normal rain. It's like flooding places.
I don't know. It stopped raining here, so I'm seeing some sunshine.
Yeah, finally. Me too. That's why I closed the drapes. Anyway, other than that,
Funny
welcome to the show.
The weather's... Oh,
You can keep
You
talking
want
about
to
the
talk
weather.
about the weather, Austin? You can talk about
thanks. Okay. Oh, yeah. I know. I was just going to say that the weather's part of the reason why I end up watching Ratatouille.
Really?
I told you guys about that the other day when we did our... Yeah. Yeah, the reason why I watched Ratatouille is because there is a tornado warning versus a watch. And I was at my parents' house with and so I wanted to be down yonder is not a smart TV, so we watched a DVD or a Blu-ray rather, and it was Ratatouille. And we watched about an hour of it, and then I had to finish watching it the next day at home because I needed to find out what happened. It was pretty good. Paul, you should watch it because it's got Janine Garofalo in it.
Okay. So Wet Hot American Summer.
And Patton Oswalt, he's in it as well.
I'm probably still not going to watch it, but...
Okay. I didn't want to spoil anything, but yeah, he's a rat.
It hurts deeply.
So would you say the weather being the reason you watched it, was it God that caused you to watch Ratatouille?
It's a weird thing to say.
Oh. Do we need to get into my religious history?
Well, do you think like he's an old man that lives in the clouds, or like could he maybe just be a rock?
Oh my gosh, Paul! You can't ask me. You don't have to answer that.
He could just be a monster. Is he a monster?
He could be.
I thought he was a doctor.
I mean, some people theorize that God is a she. I mean, that's...
Some people do be theorizing.
Oh, yeah, all that.
Yeah. Got it. Gonna freeze on that one. Do you guys have any recent movies that you watched besides Ratatouille that you want to talk about?
Sure. Yeah, so other than Ratatouille, I did a rewatch of Stranger Than Fiction. You ever seen that?
Okay,
Blind
Adam
spot for
Sandler?
me. No, it's Will Ferrell.
Oh, Will Ferrell. I always mix it up because they're both funny guys doing something serious. Am I lagging that bad?
I would give that a watch. It's also got Maggie Gyllenhaal, if you're a fan of her. A little bit.
So
cool.
Tell us about Stranger Than Fiction. That's what you watched recently.
Yep, let's start there.
I would maybe that's probably one of my top 10 movies now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like Will Ferrell plays it pretty straight. I mean, it's a comedic kind of situation. Are you familiar with it at all?
I don't remember what the premise of the movie was. I just remember there was a Spoon song in the trailer.
Oh, there is a lot of Spoon music in the movie.
Yeah.
If you don't like Britt Daniel, you probably won't like the movie. But he plays a guy who like a pretty boring person. He works for the IRS, and he just one day starts hearing somebody narrating what he's doing. So then,
is it himself?
No, it's a British woman. Who's played by Emma Thompson. So Emma Thompson plays a woman who's a writer, and she's writing a novel, and the novel's about Will Ferrell's character.
And And he can hear the nature, so it's very meta.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, well, let's add that to the watch list.
I mean,
Yeah, I got it pulled up.
If
Three
it's in your top
six.
10, I mean, it's worth saying. Also, I guess we didn't really introduce Austin. We just said Austin was here. This is Austin. He's my friend. I've known him for like 20 some years. We used to work at a bookstore together, which I've probably mentioned many times. So, welcome, Austin. Do you have anything else you want to say about yourself? Or
Yeah, you should say something about yourself to the listeners. Like if somebody was to meet you for the first time, hi, I'm Austin.
I think you've mentioned before in like, you guys mentioned me in the Iron Giant episode. I do paper craft, although I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing that because I've been doing it for quite a while. Maybe as long as I've known Paul.
Are your paws starting
close
to
to
hurt?
it, yeah.
No, I mean, it takes up a lot of time and
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. And I've met a lot of cool people through it. Let's see, another thing about me is I kind of wonder, I think I might have been friends with Matt Turner sooner than I was friends with Paul.
That tracks.
Safer choice.
Yeah, he's a kinder person.
But also, because I was office supervisor, so I processed both of your paperworks, I think. But I saw Matt more often upstairs because I was upstairs all the time.
Matt used to work in the
Was he got
cafe.
trouble? Oh.
And I remember people in the cafe were kind of hired full time, but Matt didn't know that. So one time he was telling me, he's like, "Oh man, I hope they keep me on." I was like, "Oh, maybe." I mean, I knew that they were, but I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess if people like you, they'll keep you on."
Nice.
Turns out we liked him.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't ask if you guys liked him. He's asking if the work would like him. You guys.
Well,
don't
I was
keep
part
him
of the
on.
work. I got hired before Matt, so my opinion really mattered at that point.
Yeah, actually, Paul, when you started, did you actually get hired for were you just at registers, or what did you actually get hired for?
Yeah, I was just a cashier when I first started.
Well, they wanted you facing customers.
Yeah, they quickly realized that was a mistake. That did not last long.
They're like, get this guy in the back. He's stock material.
Mm-hmm.
He's a stock guy.
That's exactly where they put me. They'd have me come in like 2 hours before the store even opened and just send me on my way.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't really talk to you as much until I left and came back. Does that track?
Yeah,
Does
I
that
think
sound
that's
right?
probably the case. Yeah, because I wasn't even 21 at the time, so I wasn't really hanging out with people until after I turned 21 and I was able to go out and do stuff with you guys.
Yeah, I think were you? Well, no, I don't want to get myself in trouble. You could edit it out or keep it in. But when we used to play pretty weekly poker games,
I only came to one, and I think I was 21 at that
Okay.
point. I don't even think I drank at that.
because I don't think Matt
It's
was.
last week's episode. He admitted stealing from Blockbuster. So honestly,
I mean, if I was
That's what
underage drinking, then I would say it. Or if Austin was giving me underage alcohol, but I think the statute of limitations is probably passed on that one.
Probably
So.
because I think that
Yeah.
time when you came for poker, I think Matt was there too, and I think
he
he had some drinks, partially because I don't know if it was Lindsay or somebody had a whole bunch of Jello shots from something and brought them to my place. So I think that was part of poker night too. We just had all these extra Jello shots. Not super strong.
This
but
is
yeah.
so
Lindsay.
fun.
I don't think anybody ever got super smashed or anything.
Well, Caitlin, what about you? I know you have been continuing on your Star Wars journey. Is that all you have watched recently?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me how I knew Austin.
Through me.
Yes, I just finished my Star Wars' journey today, and I guess really pissed off Paul because I actually enjoyed The Rise of Skywalker. Sorry. I don't think it's the best of the three, but I had a good time watching it. I was crying a whole bunch. I like Adam Driver. Sue me.
Can I sue you for that? Is that an option?
I don't think any lawyer would take that case on. I really don't.
Well, it's a
But
bad
yes,
movie.
now I don't know what to do with myself because I've watched all of the Star Warses.
Jurassic Park. Do all the Jurassic Park movies next.
Ugh. Then I have to watch the ones with Chris.
So I have only watched one movie recently since we last recorded, and that was the movie Witness. Caitlin, I'm just going to assume you haven't seen Witness. What about you, Austin?
I don't think I have. Which one is that one?
It's the one where Harrison Ford is a detective, and he's trying to solve a murder, and the only witness is an Amish boy, and he ends up living with the Amish.
Oh yeah. No, I think I have seen that. I don't remember very much of
Yeah.
it.
That's a joke.
No,
That's a joke.
that's
But
really
yeah,
the movie. It's
Amish country.
It is the real movie. It's a Peter Weir movie, and they were discussing it on Blank Check this past week with future guest of this podcast, Amanda Knox Dobbins. So I had to get it in before I listened to her episode, and it's exactly what it sounds like. And he kind of falls in love with an Amish woman too. So it's bookended by this murder detective story, corrupt cops, but in the middle he's just adjusting to Amish life and falling in love with the woman from Top Gun. So
Oh,
He built a barn at some point.
Kelly McGillis?
Yeah. Yeah, Kelly McGillis is the Amish woman. So
Who was the boy?
That movie's all over the place.
the boy is Lucas Haas.
Oh, the kid from Lady in White.
Sure. I
Are
know
you just naming things?
No, he was in a movie called Lady in White. Then that was like a murder mystery, and I remember watching that with my dad, and I cried because I was scared.
Oh, little baby Austin. Oh. Hey, I have a blank check for you. I do have a blank check. John and I are watching the show Your Friends and Neighbors, starring Juan Hamon, John Hamm, and he loves blank check. He was wearing a blank check hat in one of the episodes.
He's listening to the podcast in one of the episodes too. I saw a clip
Oh,
on
is he?
Instagram. Yeah.
We're not there yet. I just saw the picture of him wearing it.
Well, cool,
Isn't
fun,
that fun?
fun reference.
Maybe
Yeah.
one day we can get Juan Hamon to wear a theme on screen hat.
You can try.
Send it
All
to him.
right.
Just
Well,
send it to him.
now, Caitlin, do you want to ask Austin some fun getting to know you questions so that our audience can get to know Austin?
Yeah, since they already know us and all we do is talk all the time. So as we have with our previous guests, I want to ask you your top 4 favorite movies.
Okay. I don't know if Stranger Than Fiction makes top 4. It's close. I think Royal Tenenbaums is definitely, I think, in the top 4.
Perfect choice.
I think I mentioned to you guys in conversation before that potentially all the rest of them have Val Kilmer in them, but
That's
I
fine.
might have to adjust that.
Is this just a top 4 Val Kilmer list? Go for it.
But the movie Real Genius is one of my favorites. And that one definitely is a Val Kilmer movie. Willow might be one of them. I'm not sure.
Willow makes the top 4, eh?
Possibly. I mean, it's
I mean,
definitely top 10.
Definitely
Oh.
Val Kilmer.
I've kind of vaguely know my top 10, but I don't have them kind of in order, so I don't know which ones are 4. But I think Real Tenenbaums definitely. Oh, The Baxter.
Great
If
movie.
you're a Michael Showalter fan, that one's also kind of pretty meta.
It is meta, but also I think Caitlin might actually like it too because it's still kind of a romance.
I think you're making half of these movies
No,
up.
well,
The Baxter's.
the premise of The Baxter is that in every romance movie, there's a guy who gets like left behind. Like there's like the leading lady and the leading man.
Yeah, the third
Yeah.
wheel.
So the guy who gets left behind is referred to a term called the Baxter, which they don't say in the movie very much. But so the movie's about the guy who gets left by the main lady.
It's got a pretty stacked cast
I might
too.
like it.
I mean, Michael
I might like it,
Showalter,
yeah.
Michelle Williams,
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage,
Paul Rudd,
Ooh, Justin
Paul
Theroux.
Rudd,
Justin
yeah,
Theroux.
Justin Theroux, David Wayne, Michael Ian Black.
I've never heard of this.
It's Katie and I saw it in theater. I think I saw it with Katie.
Hey, watch list added.
I've got it on DVD. I can lend it to you, or I could host a screening.
We could do another movie night
Ooh.
without Buster.
A screening.
So I said
Snacks.
so I've got Real Tenenbaums, The Baxter, Real Genius, Willow. I don't know if Willow makes top 4 though. I might have to go another Showalter Wayne movie. Maybe put What Hot American Summer because of how often I've rewatched it. That might have to go up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely in my top 10.
Yeah.
Possibly even top 6.
So I think so. What Hot American Summer probably knocks Willow down a notch. So I think that would have to at least be in the top 4 as far as what I've mentioned so far. I might think of other stuff and recant some of that, but that's probably. I
Hey,
think that's.
you know what? It's a movable
Yeah.
list.
Oh yeah, I started a Letterboxd. I only put one movie on there. And I don't know how to find other
Did you?
people,
You
so
did?
I didn't start following you guys yet. And
Is your name just Austin Chu, or is it Austin is my hero?
I think it's Austin Chu or Austin
Or
Jericho.
Theme on
my
Screen is the
paper-
best
paper
show.
figure stuff.
I guess I don't need to find you live on
Yeah,
air,
you
but
don't
I'll
have to.
find you.
Yeah. I pulled my phone up too. Like, we don't really need to do that. Okay, so then my other question too. So for, listeners, as you clicked on this episode, you saw that we are reviewing the movie Your Name. And so, Austin, in that effect, I wanted to know if somebody does enjoy this movie, which you'll find out if I did or did not, wink, what is something else they could watch? Like an anime that you could recommend to people if they like
I mean,
this?
any of the other Makoto Shinkai movies, the director, writer, those would all be good. So Wuthering with You, Suzume. Some of the other ones are shorts, and it showed up.
I added that one to my watch list, Paul.
I
Can
don't want the
have it?
listeners to think that I've gone a week without purchasing a new 4K, so I brought another prop. I haven't watched it yet, but it's here.
You know what we need? I just thought of it. It's Paul's Media Corner. And every week you can show your new purchased media.
If I was doing that so that I could update it weekly, I think Katie would divorce me. So then it would just be like Paul's sad divorced media corner. I don't have anyone to love. I'm just cuddling Blu-rays and
Paul has no
4Ks.
wife, but he has this pile of DVDs.
Oh, and
Continue,
A Silent
Austin.
Voice, which currently is at Paul's place.
Yes. Which I also didn't watch this weekend because I was too busy watching Witness, but I'm gonna get to it.
I mean, they're basically the same movie.
Is there an Amish community in Japan?
No, but if you kind of replace Harrison Ford with an elementary school bully and Amish people with other children, and then maybe replace Kelly McGillis with a girl, a hearing impaired girl.
Okay.
Oh man.
It sounds
Okay.
like they have so much in common.
Yeah,
They're
all,
really
yeah.
in conversation
Yeah,
with each other.
exactly.
I mean,
the
they're
same.
both animated.
Yeah.
I mean, if I recall correctly, everybody in Witness is CGI. Is that right?
No, actually, it's a live action movie.
Oh,
I guess your
Oh,
memory
it's not
of
like
Witness.
a Who Framed Roger Rabbit situation.
No, it's a pretty serious movie about the Amish community and falling in love, and also corrupt cops.
Corrupt cops? What do you mean? Eh.
So aside from anime that you might recommend for fans of Your Name, can you just talk about your favorite anime in general? Doesn't have to be a movie, maybe TV shows, maybe.
Yeah.
I have favorites. I think currently one of my favorites that's on right now, I mean, that's not done yet, is like Free Run's been great. I know you
Yeah,
watched
Free
that
Run is
one.
fantastic. Mhm.
I just started Witch Hat Atelier, which if you like
Ooh.
Free Run, it's
Also,
on the same kind of the same. It's very like the animation's really pretty. It almost looks like it's hand sketched more than hand drawn. Like there's a lot of
Mhm.
hatch marks. And that one's about a girl who wants to become a witch, and there's hats involved.
Say less.
Oh,
Say
So
less.
I won't spoil it, but yeah, and that's as much I'll say about it. That one's pretty good.
Is she making the hats? Because you said atelier. Like she's making her own hats.
I don't know what that part means for the show yet. I've only watched 2 episodes.
Okay.
does atelier mean hat maker in French?
No, it means like clothing maker.
Oh, okay.
Are
How do you
these
say
all
hat
available on
maker?
Crunchyroll?
I mean, that could be because part of it so far takes place at a school, so maybe they're making witches and their hats.
Nah, just their hats.
I haven't dug into it because there is a manga for that as well.
What about like a classic anime that is done airing that you would recommend to our listeners or to Caitlin or me
Oh, a classic.
or Todd?
I
Let's just
mean,
say
at
Todd.
this point, like the Vision of Escaflowne. I don't know if we can consider it a
Okay.
classic right now. If we had to go all the way back to '80s, but Macross
I've
Plus.
never actually seen that.
That's another good. If you like
Yeah.
Macross, kind of being part of the Robotech family or the original source material for Robotech, but a lot of that didn't make it to the States because the company that licensed Robotech or Macross for Robotech, Harmony Gold, had everything kind of tied up in like legal disputes, so they couldn't release the original source materials in the States, or at least on streaming and wide release.
Where does my favorite anime, Death Note, land in your?
Oh no, I'm kind of smiling because I've never actually watched Death Note.
Neither have I.
I saw, and then
I love Death
I saw
Note.
kind of the live action one on Netflix, and then kind of was bored. And I didn't really pay attention to it.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great.
So you would
But
say
if
the
you have time
animated
to
version
watch
is worth
all,
watching, not the live
oh
action?
yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah. If you have time to watch all 200 or something episodes, then please.
I'm like vaguely familiar with like the plot, maybe a little too much. I think some stuff got spoiled, but just because it's been around for a long time and other people talk about it. But yeah, I just never got.
There's some sort of Death
I'm
Note.
not. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
spoil.
because I mean I know the premise is that he has a book and he writes the names of people and then those people die. That's the gist,
Yeah.
the basic premise.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
I wish that worked.
Mhm. Yeah, and he has like a Shinigami that he works with to like fill out the death note, but then there's also this detective L who's like after him because he knows something's up, but he doesn't really know what is happening. He just knows that people keep dying. And yeah, it's just really fucking cool. I just think it's cool. And that's my classic.
Yeah, the way the world, like sometimes I think about that anime and without knowing too much about it, like, well, I wish that book worked where you can just write criminals' names in it and then they just drop dead or get killed by Shinigami or however that works out.
Depends what they write.
Boating
Like
accidents.
the first one, he said that he would fall off his motorcycle and his head gets cut off, I think. It's been a while. Anyway, listeners, it's really good.
Okay, well, should we jump into some movie talk now?
I think we could.
Okay.
You guys ready?
I
We
am
got a lot
ready.
to discuss.
I did want to say one thing about the movie before we talked about the movie, though. So,
Okay.
as we usually say, we are spoiling the movie today. And I know there are certain people like Matt Turner that tend to listen to the episode no matter what, even if they haven't seen it. I think the way that this movie works, it works really well if you don't know anything about it. And I generally don't care about spoilers too much, but if you would like to watch this movie at all, I would suggest you don't listen to this episode until you've actually seen the movie because, yeah, you just do yourself a favor and actually watch this movie. So that's all I want to say. Usually don't really care about that at all, but once we
No, I
talk
think that's
about
a
the
good
plot
call out.
structure, I think it'll make sense. So, yeah, watch the movie,
Agreed.
especially you, Matt Turner.
I already had some people tell me that they were interested when I told them that we had watched the movie, we're going to discuss the movie, and they were like, "Oh, well, I like anime. That would be something I'd be into." So, if you were one of those people who said that to me, shut us off and come back.
And I would also say if you're still listening and you think, well, I don't like anime and I'm never going to watch this anyway, I do really think this is a really good movie for people that think they don't like anime. So a lot of the annoying anime tropes that you probably don't like are not present in this movie, and I think you should do yourself a favor and check it out. So with all of that being said, are we ready to talk about the movie Your Name?
Ready?
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to butcher the names of the characters in the cast. We did watch the dubbed version because, as I mentioned, we were also dealing with a dog that didn't want to settle down and just really wanted to lay on Caitlin the entire time. So it was easier to like listen and not have to try to read. So I will say the name of the English voice actors and actresses. Yeah, but the leads of this movie voiced by Michael Sinterniklaas is Taki Tachibana, and then Mitsuha I can't say
Shimizu?
anyone's name. Yes,
Miyamizu.
voiced
Yep.
by Stephanie Sheh, maybe Shay. I don't know. Austin, do you have the list of the? Do you want to just read everyone's names instead of
Oh,
me? Then it seems
I
just
have
less
some
racist
of the
for me.
main characters listed. I have a little
Go for
notepad
it.
up. Miki Okudera.
Oh,
No, to
she. I have to find her. So she's voiced by Laura Post.
uh, Tsukasa Fuji. He was like the friend with the glasses.
Well, yeah, there he is. Ben Pronsky,
Katsuhiko Tashigawara
voiced by Kyle Hebert.
and Sayaka Natori.
Cassandra Lee
Yeah,
Morris.
I don't know any of those voice actors.
I don't either. So this, I was looking at a lot of their like filmography just to see what they'd been in, and it's
That
just
was my next
a
question.
lot of voice acting. The voice actress that
Yeah.
does, um, the Stephanie Shea, she did the voice for Sailor Moon in the Sailor Moon Crystal like reboot thingy that they did. So that was one of her big characters. But yeah, they're generally just, voice actors work a lot, especially ones that work
Yeah.
on animated stuff like anime or just even cartoons. So if you look at any of their filmographies, they've been in a ton of stuff, from video games to DC stuff or Scooby Doo or whatever else. So hats off to all of them because they all do a good job. But it's not like traditional actors that we usually talk about here, so it's a little more difficult
Yeah.
to just talk about. But anyway, that's the cast of the movie. Caitlin, would you like to give us a rundown of the plot?
I've always wanted to be a voice actor. I think I could really do it. Not that I'm trying to leave the show or anything. Okay. This might get a little bit confusing, but like we said, if you've watched it, then maybe this makes sense. The story follows two teenagers, Mitsuha Miyamizu, a girl living in a rural mountain town, and Takibana, a boy living in bustling Tokyo. Suddenly, they begin randomly swapping bodies. At first, it's really chaotic, but they begin to adapt by leaving notes for each other. Through their swaps, they begin to improve each other's lives. Mitsuha helps Taki with relationships and social skills, while Taki brings confidence and boldness to Mitsuha's life. They slowly fall for each other without ever meeting. Eventually, the body swapping suddenly stops when Taki decides to find Mitsuha in person. But when he travels to Itumori, he discovers something shocking. The town was destroyed by a comet fragment 3 years earlier, and Mitsuha, along with everyone in the town, has died. This reveals the key twist of the movie. They were not just separated by distance, but also by time. Taki is living in the present with Mitsuha living in the past. Determined to save her, Taki visits a sacred shrine connected to Mitsuha's family's traditions. There he drinks the Kuchi Kamizaki, a ritual sake Mitsuha has made, which acts as a spiritual link. This allows him to swap back into Mitsuha's body, but on the day of the comet impact. Now in Mitsuha's body, Taki tries to convince the townspeople to evacuate before the comet strikes. It's difficult because nobody's really believing him. Meanwhile, Mitsuha briefly awakens in Taki's body in the future and realizes the truth. At twilight, a mystical moment where timelines overlap, Taki and Mitsuha are finally able to meet in person on the mountaintop, and they recognize each other immediately. Before they forget again, they try to write their names down so they'll remember, but just as Mitsuha writes on Taki's hand, the moment ends and their memories begin to fade. Even as their memories fade, Mitsuha is left with a strong emotional drive. She still carries out Taki's plan, cutting the power to fake a town emergency and broadcasting an evacuation warning. The town is successfully evacuated just before the comet destroys Itumori. Mitsuha and the townspeople survive, rewriting history. Years later, we find Taki and Mitsuha both alive in Tokyo. Neither fully remembers each other, but they feel a constant sense that something important is missing in their lives. One day, their trains pass each other, and they both feel it instantly. They rush to find each other, and finally, they meet on a staircase. After hesitating, they ask each other the same question. What's your name?
Great
Okay,
summary,
I'm gonna
Caitlin.
cry. I'm gonna cry just thinking about it again. Okay, guys. Um, before we get into all of that, oh no, we kind of already did director thoughts, so I think we'll kind of leave that, right, Paul? Because asking Austin
Um,
which ones he'd watch other.
I will say, I guess, in terms of that, I have seen the movie Suzume, and that is also really good. It's a movie that Katie also likes, Katie not being a traditional fan of anime. So
Mm-hmm.
again, I think this director specifically, if you don't think you like anime, I think it's at least worth giving him a shot. Because he's 2 for 2 for me at the moment, and soon probably will be 3 for 3. So
Yep,
Oh, if
agreed.
we're still talking about Makoto Shinkai, the director, I had
Please.
read that he actually wasn't happy with how Your Name turned out because he felt rushed. I think they made it in about 2 years, and he felt like he needed more time to perfect it. I mean, so as much,
I
yeah,
thought it was perfect. I don't know
as much
what
as I
else he
liked it,
wanted.
he actually kind of
Yeah.
wasn't like satisfied with with all of it. And another thing, I think, like when we're talking to people about, I usually mention, I was like, oh yeah, I think that was nominated for an Oscar. It was not. It actually did not get nominated for the animated feature.
I thought that
they
so
were
too.
not.
Not even for
No,
animated?
I don't. Yeah, like I think it
Wow.
technically qualified because I think it had some screenings in the U.S. like within the time frame for the year's Oscars. But yeah, I didn't get a nomination. But I don't even know if they tried to put it up or campaigned for it.
Bummer.
So
Right.
that year, the best animated feature nominees were Zootopia, which won Kubo and the Two Strings, Moana, My Life as a Zucchini, and The Red Turtle. I haven't heard of the Red Turtle. I believe is anime as well, and I haven't heard of My Life as a Zucchini. So nope, The Red Turtle is not anime. It's French.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what stopped Your Name from winning Best Picture.
Yeah, other than
Yeah, I said Best
yeah,
Picture. I just went all the way there.
yeah, other than
Okay,
Studio Ghibli stuff, not a lot of anime gets a lot of Oscar like buzz.
that's true.
Yeah. They really
Because I
need to open their
believe
eyes, open their horizons.
I don't even think it was because Demon Slayer was nominated this year for just a Golden Globe, maybe. It was nominated for something, but maybe not an Oscar.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't really follow award season anymore, so I
Oh,
vaguely know what stuff is kind of, but I don't see a whole lot of
I
it.
followed probably two. Yeah, so yeah, Demon Slayer did not get nominated at the Oscars, but because the Golden Globes has 6 instead of 5, Demon Slayer was the sixth nominee. But obviously, K-pop Demon Hunters ran away with everything, so it didn't really matter. Yeah. Anyway, back to the movie. Themes of the movie.
What are some themes?
The themes
Who
that were
wants to
on
start?
screen in this movie.
Austin, you got any?
So I think love I think is a big one in that, or maybe kind of like it's almost more friendshipy, and then love is kind of later on. But then like destiny and fate, I think, are big themes. So they talked about time a
Yeah,
lot.
I wrote
Yeah,
connection.
connection.
Yeah, as far as like love goes, because I think you're right when you say that it did kind of start, and mind you, they'd never met. This was all through the notes, listeners. They never actually saw each other. So for me, yes, it did seem more friend through all of that, because even like Mitsuha is trying to get Taki a date and stuff like that. So the love portion at the end, kind of, I'll get to that, but that was like if I had to come up with a gripe, I had to pull one.
Yeah, I mean, I do
Um,
think like fated love is kind of like true love, which generally in movies I hate that like that trope of someone's just destined to be with blah blah blah. Like, spoiler alert for our eventual bingo episode. One of the three crying Caitlin movie that I watched was The Notebook, and when Katie asked me what I thought about it, I was just like, it was fine, but like that whole idea that they're just destined to be together and like every stupid obstacle standing in their way, I find so cheesy. And I guess you can say that that is due to Jason Keith's dad, Tom Keefe. He was the pastor that married us, and we just had to like do I don't know, like an hour sit down with him before we got married and like go over some like questions and stuff. And I think one of the questions was something like, do you see yourself ending up with anyone else ever? And I think Katie and I both put no. And he was like, okay, you guys did really well on this, but that's the wrong answer. If you'd grown up in like Ohio, you could have been perfectly happy with someone else. Like, so I think, yeah, he just kind of poisoned me against that idea of true love and fate, and I really hate that in movies. And spoiler, I guess, about my thoughts, I loved it here. It was awesome.
Wait, so was his point that love only exists in Ohio?
Yeah, I don't know if he used
that's what I
Ohio
got from that,
specifically.
yeah.
He might have said a different state. But Ohio is for lovers. That's the state
I think
slogan.
there's something very magical about being meant for someone else. Like I like that you both answered no. I think that means something.
It's
Like you
unrealistic
don't even
though.
want to no. It maybe not, but isn't it more romantic to think that it is realistic that in the world of billions of people you two found each other?
No, because we live in Southeast Michigan. Like, again, I think that was
Gosh,
his point.
like this
If
is
we lived
this
in
is very
Southeast
cynical
Indiana,
actually.
then I don't think it's cynical. I think it's realistic. I think it's great in some kind movies, like the movie Your Name, in which I really enjoyed it. But I think it is something that's poisoned our idea of relationships, and people go in thinking like, blah blah blah, we're supposed to be together forever, and it just sets you up with unrealistic expectations, and then you're only it leads to disappointment. But here
Oh,
it was
fine. I
really
mean, but if they
good.
weren't meant for each other, then this movie would not have worked. They were absolutely meant for each other.
I think also like the way the
You're
movie
right.
starts off is, and it's largely because they're also high school students, is that they're irritated with each other, kind of running their each other's
Yeah.
bodies without them knowing what's going
Yeah.
on, and not super
Hmm.
liking all the choices that they make while they're not in control of themselves. Like I think like
Right.
like Taki didn't want her to set him up on dates when she
Hmm.
was operating Taki's body.
Even though he clearly had a crush on what's her face?
Yeah,
Oh,
Miss Okudera.
well, yeah.
Miss Okadera,
Which
hottie
so
at the restaurant.
I didn't realize today that until I was reading more about this that Taki's 17 and she's 24. So pretty big like call me by your name age
She
gap
did look
there.
older, though. She did look older. You could tell.
I feel like she probably just
No?
went on those dates with him because he was like one of the only people that she worked with that she actually liked.
Yeah. They
Hmm.
might have.
The
Well,
other
she did
guys were
say she
gross.
liked him though. Like when she's talking to his friend when they go to when they take the train to like try to find the town. She's like, I did like him, but it's clear that he likes someone else. So I think she realizes he likes someone else before he even does.
Also, I think
That's so
she
romantic.
liked him when she was Mitsuha, or when yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something there, too. Maybe that's something that needs to be dug into.
Well,
So I did look into just some like things a little more, and like the red thread of fate is something that comes from East Asian folklore, and it really is about that idea of two people that are just destined to be together. So that is just something persuasive in like Asian culture that was kind of lost on us. I don't know if any of the listeners out there know about the red thread of fate, but yeah.
oh, can we?
No,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
there's a lot. Well, I'm trying to think. There is like people saying like an invisible string, like an invisible
Oh, but
string can connect two
there's a
people.
real
There's
string.
that. Yeah. I mean, I would love if someone gave me like a red string. Like if my husband's listening, I would wear your red string.
Austin, what were you gonna
Oh,
say?
I mean, this kind of comes from because I'd seen the movie before. Although when I watched with you guys was actually the first time I watched it with dubbed, so that was kind of watching it for the first time in a way. And by the way, like I tend to prefer subtitles, but the dubbing in this was decent. Like I didn't hate it, but yeah, like it was hard not to try to like point out like his wristband, like it's there the pretty much the whole time. I mean, and so I was kind of excited to find like for you guys to just when they showed that his wristband was her hair tie.
Yeah, I don't think I
Hmm.
really picked up on that till they made it implicit. But
Mhm.
again, yeah, that's the red thread of fate. Like, she's got a red bow that she wears in her hair most of the movie, and then she ends up giving it to him. Because, yeah, they do cross paths, but they don't actually know who each other are at that point. But she gives him hair. So, anyway.
Well, I mean
Right.
that part she knows who he is, but he doesn't know her yet because of the time
Right,
jump.
yeah.
So when she goes to see him,
That's a good
it's
point.
3 years in her past. So he,
So he's only 14 at
yeah.
that point.
Whoa. Okay. So then another theme I had was also just like time and impermanence. Um, speaking speaking of that, time in this film is very like movable and fluid, and it's fragmented and fragile, and you spend most of the movie thinking that it's one time, and then all of a sudden it switches, like we said, it switches and you're like, holy shit, this was 3 years prior. But it just really shows how two people can be connected through time like that.
Yeah, I kind of have something like how our actions can echo through time. And I think,
Okay.
so this movie, Suzume and Weathering with You, are considered the director's disaster trilogy. So I actually have climate change as a theme in this movie because it does feature an ecological disaster, and the director was inspired by the 2011 earthquake and tsunami in Japan. And
Oh.
so yeah, that was something that he was thinking on, like how he could like talk about the increase in just like natural disasters that we're seeing. Well, he was seeing in Japan and that we're seeing around the world. Speaking of the crazy rain that we're getting, so I do think like, what we do today can have echoes on what happens 3 years from now. And I think specifically centering this around like an ecological disaster, he was commenting on climate change in his own way in like a cool time travel love story. So.
I did not even think about that. So thank you for bringing that up because I did not. So the other two movies also have a disaster, is what you're saying?
So Suzume has a like a giant worm kind of thing that like causes disasters, right, Austin?
Yeah, like spirits and stuff. And then
Yeah,
Weathering with You is a
Okay.
bit more overt because of it's just a lot of rain. But
yeah. I guess it is called Weathering with You, so it might have weather in
yeah,
it.
Interesting.
But yeah, just anyway, like the actions that we have do, have consequences down the line, and like we are connected to each other, like in the present and the past and the future. So
I guess that could also be kind of represented in the what's the word, like the dichotomy of her living in a small town in the mountains and then Taki living in the hustle bustle of Tokyo, and the change, the environment there, and the whatever else, the computers in the sky and whatever else is all different, and so I guess that could be kind of a reflection of it as well, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, because in the country they don't have climate change, but that's where the
Well,
meteors
no,
hit.
it's just like it's different because it's a like a big city, But you're right. I guess it could have hit either one, so that doesn't really have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I guess I also have empathy, like, they're literally walking in each other's shoes.
Yeah, I wrote that, but I wrote like identity, um, because it's kind of a Freaky Friday, right? If you had to
yeah, yeah.
if you had to boil it down, but this movie's kind of like a Freaky Friday body swap movie, but it's so much deeper than that. I mean, as listeners, as you can hear, like we're already talking about like five other things that are going on in this movie besides just a boy and a girl swap bodies, and sometimes he grabs his own boobies. Like it's so much deeper than that. And it's not used as a gimmick. It's used, like you said, to show empathy. Because I think that having a boy and a girl, especially in teenage years, swapping bodies is kind of a wild choice because the last person that I wanted to be, besides a teenage girl, is a teenage boy. You know what I mean? Like, but it does teach them both about how it looks through the other's eyes, how the world reacts to you as being a young man or a young woman in this world, um, or in their world, I guess, and just how understanding someone else can ultimately change you.
Plot wise, like, so when you guys started watching the movie, how long did it take you to realize what was going on? Because they have like subtle hints,
Well,
but
That
I
they
didn't
were
want to
switching
point anything out
bodies.
because we weren't allowed to talk.
so I knew this time because I'd watched it like an hour
Oh
of it
yeah.
before, so I don't really remember how long it took the first time I watched it.
Well, I want to say that when her sister came into the room and she was acting weird, but then she went out and told grandma, and they were all saying that she was different the day before. Like there was something different about her. They were like, well, yeah, yesterday you didn't do your hair right, and you dressed funny, and you were acting weird, and you talked weird, and like all this other stuff. So I was like, okay, so something's up. That's probably it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to give the warning at the top if we're talking about the plot a little bit. Like the way the movie's plot unfolds, it's not clearly stated at the beginning of the movie. It kind of slowly tells you what's going on. So to listen to this podcast, didn't even know there's like body swapping or time travel going on is just a massive spoiler. And yeah, it really it takes its time and you gradually just I don't know, you're kind of figuring it out as the characters figure out because it seems like even when they're first swapping bodies, they think it's just like a dream. They don't necessarily realize what's going on,
Yeah,
just like we don't necessarily realize what's going on. So that's just a really cool way that it's paced and plotted out.
I agree. Good point, Austin.
Yeah, because I like like the hints that whenever Mitsua's hair is done, it's Mitsua, but whenever
Oh yeah,
because
Mm-hmm.
Taki doesn't know how to
Because he
do it.
does it
Like
different. Yeah.
he can put in a ponytail and that's all he knows
Yeah.
how to do.
yeah. A 17-year-old boy's not really gonna. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I don't think that's
That is
something you
so
really
cute.
notice probably the first time watching the movie. So this probably does deserve a second watch.
Yeah, there's a lot of little hints. Again, like then you can also watch for
Hmm.
like the wristband whenever he
Hmm.
because well yeah because then when because after she visits him and she cuts her hair, she doesn't have she doesn't have her hairband anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I want to watch it again. Spoilers. Um.
I have one more though before we
Okay.
move from this, because I think that a big part of it and an important part is the tradition of a lot of the things that they do. So when you are watching Mitsuha and she's in Itomori, they included a lot of her family's traditions, a lot of like Japanese families' traditions, and I love that shit. Like I love watching that stuff. So I really enjoyed um watching that contrast, like I said, the difference between what's going on in the hills of the mountains versus in the big city of Tokyo. Watching the how or I guess it's more of like a jealousy, I guess, with Asian culture. I feel like everything that I watch, they do hold on to their traditions so much better than a lot of other cultures do. Um, like I'm Polish and I try my best to like I'll eat pierogies and I'll go to like beer gardens and stuff, but it's like, what do we really have? I'm trying to like connect to the traditions more and more as I can, but they really hold on to them here, and I think it's beautiful to watch, and it's done really well too. You got the family shrine, you got the sacred sake. How fun is that? Also disgusting.
Spit sake.
Um, the spit sake, and then yeah, the sake ends up being essential to them being able to save the town. So I think that's a huge part of it.
But did you pick up on so people in Tokyo other than Taki acting weird didn't really pick up on anything, but on Mitsuo's side, so Mitsuo's like, you can cut that. It's but her at one point her grandma realizes that she's not herself, or like that Mitsuo's Taki, because she's like, "Oh, are you
Yeah.
dreaming right now?" And when
Mm-hmm.
and at one point when Mitsuo's talking to her dad as Taki, or when Taki as Mitsuo's talking to the dad, his dad's like the dad goes, "Who are you?" So I think
Hmm.
in Mitsuo's family, probably herself, her mother, and the grandma all did that body swapping stuff.
Oh yeah, because the grandma does say that it
Oh,
did happen to
she
her.
does
Yeah,
act like
she doesn't
it's
really remember it,
familiar.
but yeah.
And she's not even weirded out, like knowing what is happening. Maybe somebody else would be like, "What are you like? What are you talking about? Like you're crazy." Her grandma is just like, "Yep,
Do you think that
that's
kind
what
of
happened."
maybe has something to do with what you were talking about in terms of like just tradition and that she lives in a more rural traditional village, and then the people of Tokyo just kind of dismiss it because they're more modern and they're just like, oh, this weirdo, he's being a weirdo today, and they're not as connected to the
Possibly.
things like because
I would also
fate
think
and
that it has
stuff did
something.
really play into their traditions. So
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Mitsuha is close to her family. You see her family more represented throughout the movie, and the the things that they do, and they're just present. They're more big. They're bigger characters. You
hmm
see Taki's father, what, one, two times. You don't really know much about him. He just leaves for work. Uh, and so it kind of just shows that the fast pace moving of Tokyo, the families aren't connecting as much as they would be probably out in the mountains. And and her family can recognize when she's different. I think that's important.
Well, next we usually talk about the cast thoughts, but I don't know if we really have anything to say about the cast. What did you think? You said you liked the dubbed version as far as dubbed versions go. Do you think we missed anything in terms of not watching the subtitled version? Anything lost in translation or
Yeah.
That I don't think is much. Like I don't think they. I mean, probably in the subtitle it'll still say like Ms. Okudera, but I
yeah.
think maybe that helps you kind of realize that she is a little bit older because of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I guess or
Because he's
not.
not calling her by her first name.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, they were calling her Miss, so I assumed she was
right.
older. And then she was smoking cigarettes, so I
Yeah,
don't know what the smoking age is in
So
Japan, but
cool.
she's a little bit,
yeah, and you have to be
edgy.
a certain age to
I
be
had
able
a
to buy
crush on her.
cigarettes too.
Yeah.
But
I liked both the lead roles. I thought they were both great.
Yeah.
That's that's really all that I can say. I thought that they did a
I
good
think
job.
yeah, I think that they're both likable characters, and I think the voice actors did a pretty good job of making you like them, and they didn't sound snotty or anything, which I think can sometimes come off with like dubbing,
With a
like people like
teenager.
don't sound right or they
Yeah.
sound like whiny or. But yeah, they didn't. Yeah, nobody came off as really particularly whiny. Even the little sister, who's kind of just not even a little bratty. She's just a little sister, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just giving little sister. They did a good job of that you could tell when they had switched that they spoke a little bit differently. Like even like when Mitsuha was in Taki's body, it wasn't like an overly like I'm a girl now. It wasn't like that. It was just kind of like the inflection of some of the words changed a little bit and they were softer. And so you could tell that way too, that subtle change in their voice.
Well, I kind of wonder if they did anything where like they would have maybe the act like Mitsua's or actor say the phrase and then Taki's actor would maybe say it and try to say it in her like inflection.
I'll try to mimic it. That yeah,
I don't
that's
know. It'd be
interesting.
cool to.
I didn't watch any of the behind the scenes stuff, but you took the Blu-ray
Oh
back,
yeah, I did.
so why
I
don't you
forget
go
if that.
watch all the behind the scenes stuff and tell me
I watched a lot
right
of
now?
that behind the scenes stuff. They did have like a thing where they had the two actors kind of, but I only saw the one with the Japanese actors though, so I don't know
Mhm.
about the if there was any bonus material about the English translation and dubbing and that process. But yeah, I think
Hmm.
when Mitsuha is in Taki's body, for sure has like a different lilt to the voice.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's the same voice actor, but almost like a girl trying to talk like a boy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And they didn't go overdo it. Yeah, like just kind of
Right.
like you
Yeah,
should talk like this, and now I'm a
Hmm.
girl. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of very funny moments in this movie, but like stuff like that's just not played for cheap
yeah.
laughs.
Or I think like if it was like dubbed in the '90s and the voice acting wasn't as directed as well, like they easily could have just
Right.
had a guy trying to do like a girl voice sort of thing.
hmm
Yeah, that would have been awful. Yeah. Do you guys have any more on the voice
I don't
acting?
really have any thing on the cast because I don't know who any of them are.
Yeah.
I did
Because I
see
don't know who
the
those people
English
are.
cast of Weathering with You. We have Lee Pace, Alison Brie, Riz Ahmad. So there's some big name voice actors there.
Okay. We got some work to do.
Yeah, so on to the plot. I just have, oh
On to the
my,
plot.
I don't know. This movie hit me like just a truck. It just bowled me over and knocked me on my ass.
Austin, why
I
don't you
feel
go?
like so even I had
Because you
Yeah,
chose
I
this.
hadn't
This
seen
was,
it in a
listeners,
while.
this was
Yeah,
Austin's choice.
but I hadn't watched it in a while, partially because Paul had my copy. But
Blame
yeah,
Buster.
You're lucky he didn't buy his own and swap it.
but
I didn't ruin the well, actually, I don't know. I did have to take it out and clean it off, didn't I?
even though I'd seen the movie before, like I was watching it and kind of wondering, oh, like I didn't remember where things happened in what order. I mean,
Yeah.
because it also jumps around a bit too. But I was like, I know they explained the wristbands at some point, so I was still pleasantly surprised, like watching how they fit that stuff in and when they
Mhm.
explained certain things.
Hmm.
But yeah, because at the beginning it's kind of choppier. Like it goes from Taki being in her body and doing the whole boob touching thing right to breakfast where they're already talking about how she was weird the next day or the previous day.
Right. It's
Mhm.
like you're dropping in the middle of the
Yeah,
story.
which I don't mind. But when I was watching that with you guys, I was kind of like, oh, I wonder if they're picking up on any of this stuff because it's a bit more subtle at the beginning, and
Oh,
then
we
yeah,
picked it up.
Yeah.
Oh, we picked it up. We did. Um, like I said in the beginning, I think the only criticism that I would have is I just felt like the romance portion of it was a little underdeveloped and it went a little fast for me. Um, because it, it just was like super friendly. Like she was trying to get him a date um and go to work and do her thing. And so maybe if they had worked a little harder to start maybe sooner saying that there was kind of something between them, I would have liked that. But the emotional payoff in the end didn't bother, like that part when she wrote I love you, I lost it. I freaking lost it. So it didn't matter at the end. So that's why I said I'm like pulling out a criticism, but I, I, I think it was kind of perfect.
I'd forgotten that
It
that's
was
what
such a good
I
choice.
forgot that that's what he wrote when they're writing their names on each other's hands. Yeah, that. Yeah, I mean, on like having watched it previously, it still hit me when
Yeah.
some of that stuff was
Hmm.
revealed.
So I did have that as my only criticism too, that maybe it felt like that was a little rushed. But then when I thought about it, they're only ever communicating with each other like through text. So it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to convey, like, I don't know, the flustered feelings he might show if he's just around. Like when he is initially around Miss Okudara, like you can tell, he's got a crush on her because it's hard for him to talk. And um,
Hmm.
so because the communication is just coming through text, I think it's a little more difficult to show. But then I also said, like, remember when you were like 16, 17 years old and you'd spend like your entire day just chatting with a girl on AIM or whatever. Like, I don't know, literally the first girl I ever dated was just because we would talk to each other on AIM all the time. Like that's how we became friends. And I mean, yeah, they're just texting each other all day and they get to know each other in a way that no one else really knows them. And I think that's why, like, when I thought
Hmm.
back on it, it does make sense, even though it's kind of harder to show that visually just because it is through text message, basically, or notes app, whatever they're using.
Which leads to my next question. Do you think that you could fall in love with someone who was inside of your body in that manner? Like, who knows you that well?
Like the Holy Spirit.
What is going on with you today? Get out of here with that.
I mean, if they're always occupying each
Uh,
other's
I think
bodies,
I
they're
could.
not leaving space for that Holy Spirit.
yeah.
So pizzas, you guys, I'm done with this episode. Literally.
I mean, that
I don't know. Oh, go ahead,
I was gonna
Austin.
say, like, we don't know exactly how long they've been switching, so we don't know how, like, they could have been like
Hmm.
leaving each other, like writing notes to each other for like quite a long time before they.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And another thing that I was thinking
And
about
also, they
is,
lose all those memories.
yeah, yeah, like it's hazy, but when
Hmm.
Taki decides he's like gonna call her and it's disconnected, kind of thinking like, I wonder why they never tried calling each other on the phone before.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Personally, if I can just text someone, I'd rather do that all day, every day than actually call them.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's also a weird enough situation that you might not necessarily think of that until like, oh, why didn't I just? Because talking is like, oh, I'll give her a call, and then it doesn't
Hmm.
connect,
Yeah.
and then after that, then also like that's when they stop
Yeah.
swapping too.
Hmm.
That was a really sad part. Ugh.
So I don't know if this fits under plot thoughts, but I did say one movie. This reminds me of a much happier version of Donnie Darko, specifically with just the time travel kind of
I didn't even think of
aspect of
that.
it.
I kind of don't remember exactly how Donnie Darko goes because it's
So he basically has to die so that everyone else can have it. Like, there's a whole time travel thing, and he has to like make sure that he goes back and like stays in his room so the plane crashes through
Hmm.
his house and kills him.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. It's
Yeah.
So
not a very
basically,
deep
you're just
thought.
trying to find another movie with time travel.
But I, no, I mean, I think the way that even the time travel, could say any time travel movie, Caitlin. No, it doesn't remind me of Back to the Future. It reminds me of Donnie Darko. So
Okay.
just stop. Do you have any more thoughts on the plot that you want to talk about?
Um, I said that it was a wonderful blend of romance and sci-fi and cultural traditions and drama, and now I guess it's also a disaster movie.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, because it's time travel, so you kind of have to put logic aside. Because another gripe I guess I could have is that the time travel is never explained, but does it even need to be when everything else is so perfect? You don't really need to know why they're time traveling or why it started or how long it's been going on. None of that really matters because everything else is just, it holds you up. It nestles you
Agreed.
like a little anime baby. It holds you. That's all I have for plot thoughts now that I've taken a turn.
That's a lot of anime. You just have to
Yeah.
suspend your disbelief and just assume that, oh, this is just what's happening in this, and you don't need to know exactly why everything happens.
Hmm.
Or
Yeah,
Yep.
I think if they tried to over explain it, it wouldn't have worked nearly as well. Like it doesn't matter.
it's like, oh, their body
Mm-hmm.
swapping was
Yeah.
caused by the Trade Federation and the embargo on and the Galactic Senate.
They're forced dyads.
No, no, it's perfect. It's beautiful. They're wonderful. Do you guys want to go over some of your favorite and cinematic moments? Favorite cinematic moments?
Well, yeah, I mean, favorite moment, I think you just showed your hand, like that moment when I love you's on the hand, like you already said you lost. I think we all lost it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't cry. This is not a crying Paul movie, but it hit me right here.
Yeah, I got a little hazy even though I'd seen it before.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
actually that kind of makes me think that that's another reason why you guys should watch Stranger Than Fiction. You'd mentioned a little thing about Donnie Darko, and I think there's a similar thing in that movie that I think you would like. Not exactly the same and not time travel, but it is like kind of similar to Your Name.
like a
It's like
sci-fi.
it's like a slice of life sort of thing, but with a weird twist going on.
Okay,
Which I think
I'll
it's
add it.
that's another reason why like Makoto Shinkai movies are would be good for general audiences because there's enough for people to understand,
Hmm.
but then the weird twists that make it interesting and not just watching.
Yeah. Like Suzume, I don't want to spoil that movie too much, but one of the characters gets turned into a chair, and I don't know. There's just
And
a
you
character that's a
cried?
chair.
Okay, well, once I know about the chair, I'll report back. Can I
Yeah, I
can
mean,
I say one of my
obviously,
favorites, or are you gonna go?
you can just say. I don't need to say anything else. I'm done.
You can say stuff. Well, I wanted to say first and foremost for listeners, and just one of my favorite parts of this movie is that it's so damn beautiful. This is my first of the Makoto Shinkai movies, but uh, I mean, even from like the jump, it almost just as soon as you turned it on, I just thought like, wow, this just looks like cotton candy. Not in like a pink way, but it just was so soft and it just looked like I could bounce into a cloud, like because you see the opening scene is those like the first comet like scene. And even though it's bringing death obviously and it's going to bring destruction, you also just kind of wanted to bounce off of it. Like, I don't know, does that make sense? Like, just is that an animation style?
I
Just cotton candy
I
delight?
think that's typical of Makoto Shinkai's directing and animation style is that he does a lot with like light sources. There's a lot of light. Like he plays it like especially like
Yeah.
probably Suzume because of the spirit stuff, but in Wuthering with You because of like rain, like he there's a lot going on with just like light sources and lots of things are like reflecting light.
Okay, that was
Yeah,
the word I was thinking of. Yeah, like reflection, reflecting, um, whatever you call that when light kind of diffuses in and it's like bubble. I don't know what I'm talking about. Somebody else go.
well,
Yeah.
like if you
I
just
think
like if you see a rainbow and like this like the way like light refracts because of like moisture in the air.
That's what it was. It was like a refraction of a rainbow.
Yeah, he had a short called In the Garden of Words, and that one also features a lot of rain in it because it's two characters who like they always meet each other because like under this kind of gazebo thing because it's raining, and so that whenever they meet each other, it's because it's the rain cause. And there is like Easter eggs from that short to what or to your name. Like the name of the restaurant that he works at is a translation of the I think Garden of Words. So he throws in like there's Easter eggs from some of his shorts to that. And the
Right now, I'm gonna have to watch
you're
everything.
gonna have to yeah, you'll have to watch that. And then you'll pick up on stuff in Wuthering with You too, because he does it in that one. But oh, the teacher, like Taki's teacher, is one of the main characters from the In the Garden of Words.
Wow. So it's just kind of like a whole cinematic universe.
Yeah, I haven't picked up on Suzume yet, but a lot of times I'll just watch a video and have somebody else explain all the Easter
That's
eggs.
That's fair. Who has another one?
Well, speaking of the animation style, because Ghost in the Shell is the one that I watched right before this, and the movies are I don't know 20 years apart, and Ghost in the Shell is very dark and just lots of grays and yeah, just the brightness in the end. It's a very stark contrast between those two movies. So this was just yeah very beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
hard for me to pick out exact scenes. I guess, like the name writing part. But some of my favorite parts are just like the montages.
Yeah,
Like when
Like
they're
the
kind
booby
of on their
grabbing
road trip. Yeah,
montages.
like the montage that this just kind of shows them traveling and like stopping by little tourist attractions and messing around. Like talking to his
just
friends.
being
Yeah, yeah.
kids.
And then and also just like the
Hmm.
montage of them living each other's lives and sending notes back and forth. So those are kind of part of my favorite parts of the movie too. Like just when they just really just show them living.
Uh, I think the biggest one for me, besides like, him looking at his hand and it says I love you, the final staircase scene. That was so K-drama, you guys. I'm pretty sure I've seen it in probably 3 or 4 other K-dramas that I've watched. Because I knew that they were going to find each other wherever it was, but when he had stopped at the bottom of the steps, I'm like, she's at the top. She's at the top. There's no question. She was at the fucking top. And oh my gosh, it just like, I wrote down that it reminded me of, and if there's any listeners who also watch K-dramas like I do, it reminded me of Our Beloved Summer. In some ways, in that K-drama, the two characters were really close friends when they were young. So like I think it was like the early 90s. And then when they grew up, they're no longer friends. But when they were kids, they got asked to record this like documentary on being kids, like just two kids being kids, right? And so when they're older and they see these videos where they were so close and they're like, what happened to us? And like all this other stuff. I know it's not exactly the same, but for me, it just kind of felt the same. So if anybody likes Your Name, I would recommend Our Beloved Summer. Um, so the staircase scene for me as a lover of romance, chef's kiss.
I know
Chef's.
you had mentioned the boob touching several times, but it's kind of funny every time because honestly, if you're a teenage boy that got into the body of a teenage girl, of course you'd squeeze your own boobs. But the final scene where he realizes that his plan has worked and he's able to swap back into her body, and so he's squeezing his boobs like he does every time, but also sobbing because he's so happy that it was a good way to, kind of like lower the tension down a little bit because it's kind of after one of the big emotional scenes in the movie. So it provides a laugh, but also,
Hmm.
it is a serious like things are working out. He might be able to fix the past.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be fair, ladies listening, she does touch his peenie too. That sounds
Well, she
weird,
has to go to the
but
bathroom in the
but
morning.
she
Yeah.
also
Yeah, I mean,
gives it a squeeze.
Oh yeah, because
when they
yeah.
first actually meet each other there, and you think it's going to be kind of like a nice romantic moment. She's like, "You pervert," and like hits like that was really funny too. This movie's very funny.
Go
Oh,
ahead,
I forget what I
Austin.
was gonna say. Like so this was the first, I think, the first Makoto Shinkai thing I'd ever watched. He's got some older things, like mostly shorts, and some other movies that he either didn't do as much. Like I think this was one of his more full production things on his own. But like I wasn't sure like if they'd actually meet each other at the end or not, because there's a little bit where they kind of walk past each other, and then you're like, oh no, like do they just go on with their lives? And so I wasn't certain going in that they would actually still make it through and meet each other. I mean, did you guys have any doubts about that
Do you
actually
think it's a
happening?
better ending? Yeah, do you think it's a better ending because they did meet each other finally? Or do you think it also could have been a good ending that they just kept missing each other and continued to live their lives?
I think that
Because
would have been
honestly, I
way
think it
too
could.
Yeah, I
bittersweet.
think it would have been a bummer. I think.
Yeah.
After all
I
that.
I like the ending a lot. They needed to be together, or at least meet.
I think
Well, because she's engaged to the other guy, though. So do you
No,
think
she's
that?
not. That was not
Yeah,
her.
they said that they were planning
oh
the
no,
wedding.
No,
that
that's
was
Miss.
Tashigawara and Sayaka. Well, no, and then Miss Okudera had
Yeah,
a ring on, so that she
yeah.
was engaged.
Miss
Yeah,
Oka. Yeah, she's engaged. Yeah, it's not her.
No.
Yes.
yeah, because when they get back to present time, or like I think it said like 5 years later or something, where like
Hmm.
Taki's job hunting.
Yeah, but then why is Taki continuing to see
Oh, I
her
think just because
and
they're
not
friends. Yeah, I think
Mitsuha?
because they're still
Yeah, they're
friends.
just
Yeah.
friends. They're just catching up.
It's fine.
So
Continue.
does the ending of the movie hit you harder now, knowing that they're like going to probably go out and grab a drink or something? She's not engaged to someone else. Like,
Yeah, they're gonna go get sake, like
yeah,
unspit out
unspitted.
sake. Un-
Well, I guess we can just talk about the ending of the movie now because we're talking about the ending of the movie. I don't know if we've got anything else to say, but I loved it.
I do like that he was like at a restaurant or cafe or something, and then Tashi and Sayaka were like they're in the restaurant talking to each other.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And so that was kind of one of your first hints that everybody's kind of all right.
Yeah, and fate kind of has all brought them into the same orbit.
mm-hmm.
And like he
Yeah,
kind of recognized their voices, but like he couldn't like he
Hmm.
kind of his ears kind of perked up, but he probably didn't quite couldn't put his finger on
Hmm.
who they were. Because he's never met them in real life, so they wouldn't have any reason to recognize him, but
Right. And as far as I know, oh, never mind. Skip that thought.
what?
No, it wasn't good. I don't
Oh,
like it.
okay.
oh,
Because I was wondering if you did research afterwards. I did read or something. I think Makoto Shinkai did verify he's like not they don't show it in the movie or anything, but he did say that like the two of them do end up together and get like Taki and Mitsuha do get married eventually, but they just don't show it in the movie. But
Yeah.
so
Uh,
perfect.
I feel like it's about the journey, not necessarily the. We don't need to see their actual relationship play out. Though I would totally watch a sequel just about that.
Yeah, if he wants to make one, like we'll watch it. Like that's fine. Uh the biggest takeaway that I wrote down while I was thinking, even just watching the movie, um, it boiled down to like if he wanted to, he would. Um, because I think there's one thing that he says to her, like, I will keep trying, or like, I will try forever to find you, or something like that was what he had said to her. And I'm like, girls, if he wanted to, he would. He would go on top of a mountain to find you. He would go to your sacred family's burial ground if he wanted to. And it's just like, find your Taki, girl. Find your Taki.
yeah.
Do you guys have any
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Caitlin just killed the episode.
I did.
I don't have anything else to say about the ending. I did for miscellaneous thoughts. I just said the music was fire. Like even not even just like the songs where there's lyrics and stuff, but just the music throughout the
Hmm.
music. Just any like just
Hmm.
really really good. I didn't actually look up who did the music. I probably should have
Oh,
done that so we could give them a shout out. But
like if you
Austin
yeah, yeah,
told
during the
us.
oh
credits, it's one of those ones where
oh
like
yeah,
it's the only time you kind of see
Rare
like yeah,
Whips.
red wimps, like the only English
Hmm.
like letters is mostly just like Japanese characters, and then every so often you'll see stuff in like Arabic, and it's like, oh yeah, you'll see red wimps. That's the main music performers.
Oh, it looks like they've done the soundtracks for all three of the movies. Your Name, Weathering with You, and Suzume. So cool. It's definitely a soundtrack I think I would just throw on for fun,
So you could try.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful.
so I could cry.
5 crying pulls. So instead of giving them stars anymore, I have just been kind of saying, is this a must watch or is this like not a must watch? And I think we can all agree that this is a must watch.
Yeah, I mean, before
I oh,
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, before
you
you
go ahead.
started the movie podcast, I had lent that to Paul prior to that because I was like, you should watch this.
Hmm. And I think I had seen Suzume at that point, so you knew I liked
Oh yeah,
one of his other movies.
Hmm.
I would go as far to say this might be, if not my favorite movie we've watched on this podcast, one of like, I don't know, top three.
Wow.
And we've only done, I don't know, 24, 25 movies, but this is, yeah, I can't recommend this movie enough.
That's actually what I wrote underneath miscellaneous thoughts. I wanted to thank you, Austin, because I would not have chosen this movie for us or for myself. without your suggestions. So this is why we have guests, people. Like, this is why we have people come on here. And most of the time we tell the guests that we're watching this, do you want to talk about it? But I'm so thankful that you said, like, hey, I think you guys should watch this. Like, I think you know us well enough. Austin was our third member of our anime club. He gets us, he knows what we like.
It's true.
And I'd like you to come on again in the future and give us some more good movies to
Oh yeah,
watch.
if we do
And I guess Stranger Than Fiction is
yeah,
another one.
I would Stranger the Fiction, or that's a blind spot for both of you. The Baxter would only be
Hmm.
a blind spot for Caitlin.
I'd still watch that movie
Yeah.
again, though. It's great.
I mean, I'm glad you liked it. Like, I mean, I was sitting next to Caitlin during it. I'm like listening to like for you to like for sniffles and stuff like that, or like whenever I was getting a little like kind of misty, I was like, ooh, what is she?
Yeah.
I mean, because I didn't want to spoil any plot stuff. I avoided trying to look at her. Like maybe just kind of like out of the corner of my eye, or like pretending I'm like looking at the
It's
dog or
best
something.
not to
Yeah.
look at me during movies. It's best not to. Do you guys have any other remaining comments about the movie before we wrap?
Yeah, because I do have notes. I think I covered everything that made notes about for myself, at least to talk about.
Okay. Well, then you want to wrap it up?
I think that wraps your name. Do you guys have any non-movie shout-outs? That's our wrap-up song. Anybody?
Oh, like some of the stuff that I watch for like anime recommendations or analysis about stuff is there's a few, like there's a podcast or a YouTube show called My Mother's Basement, and he actually he does a series of videos called What's in an OP, and the one he did for Your Name, because it's a movie, but it does kind of have that opening sequence where it's like kind of shows the characters at different times of their lives. He kind of points out a lot of the stuff that's like not spoilers. What am that foreshadow things in the movie.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, like so the opening sequence has a lot of foreshadowing, and his video does a pretty good job of explaining what all the things are that are happening there. Even like the comet, they showed a comet in the opening,
Hmm.
and you don't realize the
Hmm.
importance of that until later on. It just looks nice initially, but I would recommend that
That's
show.
called Your Mother's
My
Basement?
Mother's Basement.
My
Yeah,
Mother's
it's a guy named
Basement?
like
Okay.
Jeff Thu.
Okay.
That's funny.
But I think that's a good one. Like,
Oh,
yeah. So I would recommend watching that video too. Like, especially now that you watch the movie, it'll point
yeah.
all the stuff out. And
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I guess a quick shout out to my coworkers. They'll probably never hear this, but I did go to the Red Wings game with them last week, and it was fun. I don't really hang out with my coworkers much outside of work, but they're all pleasant people, and I had a good time watching the hockey game. So, shout out to all of you.
You should tell them about our show.
Well, they all know we're all Instagram friends.
Toot toot. Oh yeah. All right, that's true. I actually don't have a non-movie shout out this week. Unfortunately, I don't like people very much this week. So I give a shout out to no one.
Well, I went to the casino twice last week, so thanks, Todd.
hey, I was there. I also,
Yeah, Austin was there
I
one
lost
time.
money. Thanks, Paul.
Austin lost $30 and I lost $40. Todd won seven. Wait, no.
Yeah, he made 75. Yeah, 75.
Yeah, so we were up 5 collectively. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is what I mean. I don't like anybody this week. This is
Sorry,
what I'm
Caitlin.
referring to.
Well, why don't you tell the audience how much you like them by letting them know where they can find us on the internet?
Well, yes, as part of that, before I do that, we need one more follower and we can get to 100 people. So share us, like and subscribe. We are on Instagram at theme.onscreen. We are on Letterboxd at Theme on Screen. Austin, you can follow us. You just type it in there. And then also watch us on YouTube, Theme on Screen there as well. Like I said, one more follower I would love if we could get to 100. Tell your
It
friends.
actually is a little confusing on Letterboxd because you do type it in there, but the search bar is the same for like friends as it is movies. So you have to like type in the name and then scroll over to members or headquarters, and that's where it will have what you just searched for as far as like users instead of movies.
Yeah.
I
So,
I didn't figure that out. I didn't mess around with it too much. Again, like the only movie I've got on there is, I think, Real Genius.
okay.
Possibly Ratatouille.
Well, now that Paul has told everybody how to use Letterboxd, I think that we can successfully wrap up this episode on your name. For Theme on Screen, I've been Caitlin Pedri. I'm trying something new.
And so have I.
I'm also. Okay, well, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week.